Hello friends, welcome to one more session related to rectification of errors. So far we have learned about errors of omission, errors of commission. In today's session we will be understanding about errors of principle and compensating errors. So let's start the session. First, what is error of principle? When the accounting principle is wrongly applied, then whatever error arises out of that wrong application of accounting principle, we call those errors as errors of principle. Now, in this error of principle, you need to note that it will not affect the tallying of trial balance. Both the effects would have gone to the correct side, but the problem is it has not gone into the correct account. Normally, you would find this error of principle in your books related to treatment of a revenue item as a capital item or vice versa. Means a capital item being treated as a revenue item. Now, to understand this further, you need to know that all the expenditures can be treated into two categories: revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Now, for example, if you are incurring any repair and maintenance expense, which is a regular repair and maintenance of any particular asset like machinery, then that would be a revenue expense, regular repairs. And it would be debited to your profit and loss account. Ultimately, it would go into your profit and loss account and it has to be put into repairs account. But if a major repair is being undertaken, a major component of a machinery is being replaced, and without that component, machinery cannot operate, then it is going to affect the capability of the machinery usage. Then that type of maintenance expense, where there is, say, replacement of a major component or any particular major repair which would improve the capability of the existing machine, those type of expenses will have to go into that particular asset account, whichever is an asset. Like if it is a machinery, then it should go into the machinery account. It is in the nature of a capital expenditure. Now, knowing this, we know that in case if this repair expense, which is a regular repairs, instead of being debited to repairs account, if you put it to that particular machinery account, then that would be a wrong application of principle. Or if it was a replacement of major component, it should have gone to the asset account. But instead of that, if it is debited to repairs account, there also it is a wrong application of accounting principle, and that error has to be rectified. So to understand it, let us take a few examples. The first one is machinery purchased on credit for 15,000 was passed through the purchases book. So when the machinery is purchased on credit, this goes through the journal proper. A credit purchase of an asset would go through journal proper, and the machinery account should have been debited, and the particular creditor who has sold the particular machinery on credit has to be credited. But actually that should have happened. But what has happened? It has been passed through purchases book. What should go into purchases book? Only the credit purchases. But which credit purchase we are talking about? Of goods that the business deals in only goes to the purchase book. This machinery is an asset, not a part of goods. So wrongly, what has happened? Purchase account has been debited, which is the mistake. It should have gone to the debit of machinery account, but it has gone to the debit of purchase account. Now to rectify it, what would be the rectification entry? Now it should have gone into the machinery account, so we would put it into the machinery account debit. And it should not have gone to purchase account, so there is a debit to purchase account which has to be nullified. So we would credit the purchase account with the amount of 15,000. This would rectify the error of accounting principle. I hope that is clear. Now let us take one more example to understand it. repairs to building for rupees 1000 debited to building account. Now this is a routine repair, so it is in the nature of a revenue expenditure. So this has to go into the repairs account. But what has happened? They have debited building account. They have put it into an asset account, which is a wrong treatment, wrong application of the accounting principle. So to rectify it, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to debit the repairs account with 1000 and we are supposed to credit the building account which was wrongly debited. And by passing this particular entry, we are going to be rectifying the error made. So these are the two examples of error of principle and how we go about rectifying it. Now moving further, the next type of error, the last type of error that we are going to be discussing today is compensating error. Now there might be multiple errors in the books of accounts, but those errors might be happening in such a way that they compensate each other. Like for example, in one particular account, there might be a debit excess of say 500. And there might be two other accounts where there are errors which we total it up might be having a credit excess of 500. So what happens there? The debit excess of 500 on the debit side and there's a credit excess of 500 on the credit side. So they compensate each other. However, there are at least 3 errors in the books of accounts. So these type of errors are called as compensating errors. These type of errors will not affect the tallying of trial balance. They would tally but at a wrong amount. Now, let us understand this compensating errors with an example. First example is Anil's account was excess debited by 500. Means in Anil's account on the debit side, 500 has gone in excess. And while Suraj's account was short debited by 500. Whereas Suraj's account again debited but has been debited less by 500. So what happens? Anil account has more 500, Suraj account has less 500. So it gets compensated and debit side total would be tallying with the credit side total because these two 500, this excess is nullifying the short debit of 500. So this is a case of compensating error. Now how do we go about rectifying? Now who has been debited excess? Anil's account has been debited excess. So we have to nullify that excess debit. So to nullify that, we have to credit Anil's account. Whereas Suraj account was short debited means 500 has gone less to the debit side of Suraj. So the rectification entry would be, we would debit Suraj account by 500 to correct the short debit and we would credit Anil's account with 500 to nullify the excess debit. So by passing this particular rectification entry, we are rectifying the compensating error which was caused in the books because of these two excess and short debits. Now let us take one more example and understand it. The second example I'm going to discuss today is goods purchased from Kunal for 8,000. So this is a purchase from Kunal. So Kunal's account should be credited with 8,000. And from Kapil, 9,000. So Kapil's account also has to be credited with 9,000. Recorded correctly in the purchase book. So the purchase book, it has gone correctly. 8 plus 9, 17,000 would have gone to the purchases. And to Kunal and Kapil, they have recorded 8,000, 9,000 in the purchase book. However, when they are posting from the purchase book into the ledger, into Kunal's and Kapil's ledger, there is a mistake. What have they done? They have put 9,000 was posted to Kunal. But Kunal should have been posted with 8,000. But how much they have posted? 9,000. And 8,000 to Kapil. And for Kapil, 9,000 should have been credited. But how much has gone? Only 8,000. But however, to the credit of the accounts, ultimately 9,000 plus 8,000, 17,000 has gone. So your books would tally. Your trial balance will tally. You will not have any problem with the tallying of trial balance because these errors are compensating each other. But however, there are errors which need to be rectified. Now we take each one. Like Kunal was to be credited with 8,000, but how much was he credited with? 9,000, which means he has been credited 1,000 more. So what should be done? We have to reduce 1000. So to reduce a credit, what should we do? We should debit. So we will debit Kunal's account with 1000 rupees. And for Kapil, the credit should have been for 9,000. But how much was posted into his account? Only 8,000. So we have to put one more 1,000 into Kapil's account to the credit side so that Kapil's account balance comes to the correct 9,000. So we have to credit Kapil account with 1,000. So the 8,000 which is posted now becomes 9,000, which is a correct purchase transaction. So by this rectification entry, this particular compensating error is rectified. So friends, hope the errors and the rectification was clear to you. If you found this video useful, please do like and leave your valuable comments in the comment section below. For those who have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for further videos I will be posting soon. Thank you. Have a great day.